Day 7. So, 7 a.m. on day 7. It is April 4th, 7 a.m. in the US of A in the Midwest area. Good morning to those who are popping on. Try to get things readjusted. Still figuring out everything that goes into like doing these videos. Still not completely comfortable on camera, but we're getting better. Good morning. Thank you for popping in and being with me today. I'm making my coffee now, so I've had no caffeine, and we won't get started until I do have caffeine. I don't function without caffeine. People are like, get off caffeine. No. I've given up everything else in my life. I gave up almost everything else, including cigarettes, which was probably the hardest thing ever. That was harder than the alcohol. It was harder than the going out and partying frivolously. And it was harder than losing weight, in my opinion. Smoking cigarettes is horrendous. And no one should be doing it. No one. Oh my gosh. And funny enough, I had a friend who told me back in the day, back in 2005, she told me she used fitness to get herself off of cigarettes. And I said, no way. I was still completely in denial that it had that kind of power. No way does that happen. No way the kid. And I was still kind of fluffy back then. And I had worked out and I had lost weight, but I was still a cigarette smoker. So it really just came down to the detox. That detox was a pain in the butt. But once I got over that 3, 4, 5 day hump, that first week, I haven't turned back. And that will be 3 years in July 4th. My mom was like, why 4th of July of all days to quit smoking? I said, because damn it, I want fireworks and celebration on my anniversary of quitting. So now I get fireworks every single year that celebrate me quitting cigarettes. Yay! So there you go. Repurpose your celebrations, repurpose your holidays for things that are contributed to your health that are very positive. Like we always have a tendency of remembering. Good morning to you, darling. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you, everybody. So, I always have, fitness isn't just to get me slim and trim. Fitness is used for other things, right? It's used to help me get through things in life that I find difficult to cope with, physically or mentally. Most of my workouts today are to deal with stress and to deal with the stressful things that I deal with in the outside world on a daily basis, particularly, and sometimes that's a lot easier said than done. I hear a lot of trainers talking about consistency. You have to consistently do the same thing over and over again. Yes and no. You do have to consistently work at it, yes. And in Polykinetics, it's very important to be consistent with your movements so that you build evenly, so that's why we do it to the beat. But it's persistence that will really get you out of bed. It's not a consistent behavior as so much it is persistence. Persistence leads to consistence. So it's real easy to be consistent once you've been practicing it for a while. And you can say, yes, consistence is the key. When it actually is persistence that starts you out, though. Persistence is what gets you going. You are persistently driven to overcome your inconsistencies. That's what I'm at right now. I am persistently driven to overcome my inconsistencies. Funny enough, the only thing I've been consistent so far with is I've been on time. Yay! Good stuff. And that's where it starts. So when I do my workouts according to a couple of different things. One, first of all, how am I feeling? Do I feel hyper and happy? Or do I feel like, shit, this sucks. I don't want to do this. There is no wrong answer. The only wrong answer to this question is no answer at all. How do you feel? Oh, I'm feeling kind of sluggish because my coffee just got finished. So, un momento, por favor. Just so you guys know, I'm not BSing. I really do this on a daily basis. Coffee, flavoring, and green tea. People are like, oh my gosh, you must be super hyper. No. I have something called psychomotor impairment caused by depressive episodes. So it has a tendency to take a bit more of my energy than the average person. So this doesn't hit me the same way as it probably would an average person. If you do have heart conditions, I would consult your doctor first. But to me, I like it. I like the taste. Oh, and then we can't forget this little bad boy. So this is how I flavor everything without calories, carbs. This is my gingerbread latte flavoring. But yeah, look at nothing. So yes, I use it, and people are like, "Oh, well, let me read it." Okay. Well, I've had 2 physicians who were clients and a pharmacist. So they kind of gave it a little thumbs up and said, "Okay, it's decent." And I love it. It's so good. So, give me a moment. I'm gonna let this process. What kind of weights do you get? All right, well, that is personal opinion, or excuse me, that's a personal preference. When you're first starting out, go body weight. My benchmark always is body weight. If my clients can do this for 2 minutes without, I'm talking poker face. They look bored. It's so easy for them to do that. I'll put weights in their hands. Okay, now do that for 2 minutes. I'll put, I usually benchmark at 4 pounds, and that tells me to go more advanced or to go a little bit softer, 1, 2, or 3, or 5, 6, or 7. For some reason, 4 is kind of in the middle. These are 5s. You can get these anywhere. My heaviest set is 10s, which gives me 20 pounds of resistance. So when I'm doing bicep curls, yeah. The heavier weight, the bigger the gains. The longer the duration, and that is how you build up your endurance, is duration of time, not weights. You don't get that by 50-pound weights. You get that 5 minutes. So you have to go in the other direction. So the weights are up to you. Just know what you have to do for the rest of your day. So if you have to use your arms a lot, it's probably not a good idea to use a heavy weight, because your arms are going to feel like Jell-O in 3 to 5 minutes, 2 to 4 minutes, whatever your parameters are. That's also based on a personal preference. Yes, I'm American. I leave it in my cup. So let's see. We have another comment. After 14 weeks of no weight, I added 2 and 5 pounds. Yes, excellent. I started with 2 pounds total, 1 pound per hand, because they were like these little slide weights that were in my ex-husband's vest that he left behind. So I was like, screw it. Yep, I'm taking the weights. And they fit in the perfectly palm of my hands, which made it even more better. And that's it. I started doing do-do-do-do-do-do. And I could not believe, just by doing something so simple, that it would yield such results. Because again, I've done martial arts training, and we're not talking nowadays martial arts training. No. We're talking back in the 90s martial arts training, when, you were still allowed to ride in the front seat with, and get into the back window without being pulled over by a police officer. That was perfectly normal. Parents smoking cigarettes in the front, the window down, the embers coming by, flashing in front of your face. That was normalcy for us. And so in the 90s, they were quite tough sometimes. They were fun, but they were tough. They're like, all right, you screw up, you're going to do your form on gravel, barefoot. And it's like, okay. Or you get stretch machined. And so funny enough, that's how they instilled discipline in us, is they made it fun, but they made it into exercising. And that's exactly what I pulled through into Polykinetics, is a lot of these same disciplines that I was taught back in the day. I've just done them with a little unique twist. So Polykinetics is all about staying on the beat. You must do this. If you cannot stay on the beat, that's okay. Don't fret. That is a skill. It's not a talent. So it can be taught. And if you struggle with it, some people struggle longer than others. That just makes you human. So you just keep with it. This is where consistency is key in Polykinetics. You have to consistently keep working at it in order to get it to work. But the moment you get yourself on the beat, you will start feeling a burning sensation. You'll start feeling your muscles literally straight, like just tightening, and then they're going to get super tight, and then they're going to start to expand again. So that becomes an area of tolerance for you, as it does for everyone. We all have different thresholds of tolerance. Some people are like, I've seen people literally go 1, 2, 3, oh, I'm done. And I'm like, really? It hit you that quickly? Wow. I was quick. It hit me in about 11 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. So this is about maybe 11 of these. And I was like, okay, I gotta stop. Because it hits pretty quick. Know when to stop and know when to keep pushing your thresholds. That's first and foremost. This is simple, but it is not easy. Those are other two words that get crossed, unfortunately. Simple does not mean easy. Very simple, not easy to do over a duration of time. I'm going to use the finale song today because that's one that is a wonderful song, and it goes through all parts of the body, a full body kinetic sequence, which is upper body, middle, core, and then the legs. Little stretching. So it's all elements rolled into one. What can I say? I was out for blood when I created this. I was tired of little bits and pieces here and here, and I was like, let's just put all these pieces together. What does this look like? I didn't think it was going to look this simple, but it is what it is, and I am who I am. My name is Michelle, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, requests, put them down in the comments there in the bottom, and I will do my best to get to them. I'm getting better. You see, I've got my glasses on, so I can read your comments, so feel free, throw them up there. Do I go live every morning? Yes, I go live every morning. I am making this a priority now. And my clients in the gym understand completely, especially when they ask me for 8 a.m. sessions. And I'm like, can't do it. I was like, I've got to go online. Okay, great. Let's do it this time. Okay, great. Awesome sauce. So this is live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. U.S. Central Time. And I'm just going to literally make a habit out of just coming live. Because it's good for me. It's good for y'all. It's good for everybody. So, yes, I'm loving this. My daughter, my wonderful, beautiful, awesome daughter finally came to me. She goes, Mom, I'm ready. And I'm like, what do you mean, honey? She goes, I want to do what you do. And she goes, I'll do it. I said, even the exercises? And she's like, even the exercise. I'm like, woo! I'm so excited. So we're going to get started when she gets out of school so she can just focus on that. And I'm very excited for her to start her journey. So in honor of that and everything else, I'm going to teach you guys finale. So the moves in, oh, right. Yay. High five. Finally got her. But the moves in finale are extremely simple. And they're kept that way for a reason. If we overcomplicate the brain is not going to respond well. It is going to become confused, frustrated, and that's where our emotions are coming from because it's redundant. So these are very simple bilateral movements for the most part, with the exception of the legs. Everything's from standing. If you want to sit at any time, you can. This is the only unilateral alternating move that we have is the lower body. Obviously, we can't do bilateral unless we're jumping and bringing our knees up. So this is an alternating unilateral movement. Baseline at the waistline. Anything above is advanced. Anything below is beginner. No big deal. There's no real wrong answer. If you start here, cool. You're going to get here and you're going to hit here. So it just takes time. And as time goes on, that is just going to keep progressing until you look like one of these people in these like martial arts movies and everything, you know, awesome looking. So with further ado, feel free to follow along. Now, personal applied effort. This is another thing I have to talk about. So there's a difference between this and this. There's a difference between this and this. These are personal applied efforts. So you feel free to match me, but if you want to go further than me, fine. But also know that that also increases risk of injury. So be in control of your body at all times. Know what it's doing. Never leave, never leave it unattended without knowing it's okay. So that's what we'll get. Wow, these are kept very simplistic. All right, enough talk. Let's walk. Woo! If I can get this up. Almost. There it is. So, I always like starting with the core. The core of Polykinetics is the core of the body. This is an 8 count. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. If you're starting, do a 2 count. Arms. 8 count arms. So I can move my elbows up if I want. I can move my arms down. obliques, core, core, core. So, with the with the live joints, I'm a little so-so on that one, only because I've had some incidences in the past, so please forgive me if I hesitate with that one. But if you are interested, get a hold of me on my social sites and we'll talk. You can find me through Polykinetics. Woo. Alternating in and out, in, out, in, out. Now, if you don't want to do the alternating, you don't have to. Just as challenging keeping it the same. And then break. There's breaks, usually in every single song. I use those bridges and I use them for breaks. You can come over, chit chat. Look up coffee. Yes. Love it that you're here. Thank you, everybody. All right, here we go. Again, core, 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 core. This will also help with decongesting the chest. So if you start coughing things up, don't get ticked off. Don't freak out. Totally normal. Arms. 1 and 2. Side to side. So I'm tensing, tense, 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 tense. Tension over time. Get it? Legs down, up, up, up. So when I first started, this would be me. I'm cleaning. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm putting that back over there. Let's see. Oh, don't stop laundry, you know. Because this is every busy parent in the world. As long as I stay on beat, I know I am building my body properly. And then I would be so excited because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I got into that one. Yeah, let's do another song and another song and another song and another song and another song. 30, 40 songs later, I'm walking like this. Body is on fire. Woo. And I've never felt so excited to be so sore before in my life. So, there we go. That is also my most extensive sequence that I've ever created. I don't like making them more complicated than that. Yeah, it overcomplicates the brain. Brain shuts down, does not really respond the way we want it to. So, any questions? I'm so glad for those who get to actually join in. I don't want to waste too much time. This is one song that I can use. I've had trouble with all others. So we're going to keep going with this song. This song is such a wonderful one too. You can find it on Spotify. It's called Finale by Muscular and Kevlar. Original mix. It's got 1 million plays, 1,025,810. It's about to become 811 in a second. And I'm super excited. Mashore follows me on Instagram. I follow him. And thank you so much for making this song. Oh, love it, love it. So, and it's also such a good one because if you do it over and over again, it took me about a week to be able to complete this without stopping, without unnecessarily stopping. So before we go on, do we have any questions? Did I miss anything? I'm always trying to go back and see. Let's see. How long does a usual session last? That's great. As long as you want it to. That's the beauty of it. If you only have 2 or 3 minutes, cool. Dedicate that to you. Put on a song, do a sequence, take that time for you. If you need a little bit more time than that, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The health standard currently in the US says anywhere, I've read articles that are taking this all the way down to 10 minutes. And I was like, I really want to see the statistical data that shows that 10 minutes of activity, what does that give you in terms of benefits? It's like vitamins, right? Some of these nutritional labels are a lot longer than the others because they offer bigger benefits than others. So same thing with fitness. So I would like to see that, but I do feel a difference even after I see a session. I would say about anywhere from 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on how I'm feeling. So, and then you multiply that by how many times you do it throughout a day. So I did this as many times as I could throughout the day, like, commercial breaks and everything like that. Or if my daughter was taking a nap, that was great time. I'd get 45 minutes in then. Woohoo! So it always depended on my schedule. Where could I fit these little 2 or 3 minutes in? And then I was doing it throughout the day and my body went, whoo. Of course, with a proper diet to support it, you cannot outwork a bad diet. You cannot outwork excessive junk food eating. So if that is a problem, I feel you. I'm one of these people. That's how I can talk. I'm definitely one of these people. I'm a chocolate fanatic. I love chocolate. I miss donuts. I love cake. I love bread. I love pastas. So it's tough for me. Do you guys struggle with foods? Because that is half the battle. Everyone's like, it's 80-20. No, it's more like 50-50 for me. 50-50. 50% diet, 50% exercise. And they must complement each other. Just like yoga moves complement each other. That's why they're done the way that they are. Your diet must complement the work that you're doing. So if you are exercising 3 or 4 hours, have a diet that supports a body that's exercising 3 or 4 hours. If you are working at a desk for 8 hours, eat accordingly. And then if you can, get as much exercise as you possibly can. Literally stand up from your desk, put your little earbud in, push play, and be like, now I should have done this more when I was a dispatcher, but there was a lot of very unfortunate toxicity that was occurring that I could not focus where I should have been. And I got caught up in the emotion of the situation. And then I just completely withdrew myself from the situation completely. But funny enough, there was quite a few times when things would happen. And I kid you not, I'm over there, I'm in the corner and I'm doing this. I'm keeping my eyes where they should be, but I'm doing this. All right. And I'm doing this. And I'm breathing. I'm trying to get through the moment that I'm stuck in. There's no getting out of this moment. Like I can't just get up and walk away really. So I was like, all right, I'm kind of stuck here. Do what I know. And funny enough, that's where I would start using exercising as a therapeutic tool. So when it comes to sessions, it's all about how long you want it to last. That's the beauty of it. As long as you stay on beat, you're going to benefit for 2 minutes. You're going to benefit for 2 hours. Just depends. Yep. What if you can't diet? Okay. And bare enough food. Yep. Anytime that you cannot eat what you want and can only eat what you can get, eat what you can get. Absolutely. You can figure out diet later. And that's where exercise actually comes into play. Exercise will help use what it can pull from those foods that you have access to, and it will utilize them to the best of their ability. It may not be the best, but it's going to keep you alive. And that when you're in survival mode, you have to take things differently. And I wrote about this many, many years ago when I told people I had to switch my fitness, my diet. I was getting a lot of ridicule because, oh, you don't, look at you, you're pudgy, you're still fat, and you call yourself an instructor, you're still fat. I got this crap so much, especially in the bottom of my TikTok. And that was because I didn't have access to food that I really wanted to eat. I had to settle for what I could afford or what I was given to me. So, and that included very high calorie, high carb, high sugar foods, high fat. And then, yeah, that's where diet becomes tricky. When you have children, that was another thing. It's like, well, I want a diet. I have X kind of foods, but I don't really want to impose that on my children. I don't want my daughter to be like all stuck up in, you know, on a diet that she doesn't really need, or that's maybe not good for her. So I tried to find the balance, and that's where I was like, well, let's see what we can do with what we've got. And if it was ramen noodles, it was ramen noodles. And I was like, all right, maybe I tried to get a couple of extra vegetables to throw in there just to kind of soften the blow, but it was whatever was necessary. I've gone without food. I've been homeless before. I've slept in my car. Been there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's how I can talk the way that I do. It's not easy, but it is doable. I never say it was easy. I always tell people it's worth it though. It is worth it. So if you can find a way, make that way happen for you until you can find your better way. Always have your plan. Say, okay, well, this is what I've got, but this is where I want to be. This is where I am. I can take that. This is where I want to be. How do I get from here to here? And as long as you have the determination and the drive to go from A to B to B to C, C to D, you're going to get there. This is where persistence and consistency come together. And when you get those two together, there's no stopping you. There's really not. For you, for your family, for everyone who comes into contact with you, everyone's going to benefit from you benefiting. So yes, if you cannot get access to food, also reach out to community resources. I've been on government benefits where I was blessed, where I got a food allowance and I was able to buy more quality foods with that. And so reach out to your resources. There are definitely people out there who love to help. So you guys are in my thoughts. Okay. So if you ever do come across a recipe that's low cost and it's high quality, let me know. I love hearing about recipes because I suck at probably nutrition most. I have a partner who helps me out with nutrition and keeps me on track because I do the fitness thing. I do the fitness with him. He does nutrition with me. We partner, and you're going to be learning more about that. Let's see. I lived off potatoes and top ramen. Yeah, right. Absolutely. And you find 50 different ways on how to make potatoes. It's the funniest thing. That's the one thing I actually liked about potatoes, particularly. That's funny that you mention it, is the fact of how versatile they are. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. There's like shrimp. In the movie Forrest Gump, he's like, you got this kind of shrimp, that kind of shrimp, this shrimp, this shrimp, this one. I'm like, so many possibilities. All right. But whatever it is that you're eating, this is going to help utilize that just a little bit better. It's going to move it through your system, going to get your system going, blood circulating, heart's going to start pumping, muscles are going to start flexing. It's going to wake up your body. There we go. So your body can use that fuel efficiently. All right. So we're going to do the finale song again. So again, if you've ever wanted to try this, here's your chance. Get on up. And I am using this song because Mishore is awesome. And we've had talks. So go ahead, get up, give this a shot. And here we go. It's going to start with the core, arms, core, legs. Easy, all right? Real quick. Let's see. Life is a struggle, but you can overcome every challenge when you make up your mind to do it. You really do. And that's what I told people. They're like, when was your change? I got really pissed off. I got very angry that my husband had just, and our marriage fell apart. And I was like, okay, worst fear imaginable, single motherhood, here we go. And that was my worst fear when I was pregnant. I was like, I'm scared one day I'm going to be doing this on my own. Girls, stay strong. Let's do this. We co-parent awesomely, by the way. So there is hope. And ironically, he was the first person I taught Polykinetics to, was my ex-husband. Arms. See? Upgrade whenever I want. I do not recommend doing side to sides at an 8 count. I mean, save your spine, protect your back. So it's just like if I were to be on the ground, only hands are not behind my head, legs. I'm just going to keep these forward facing. I am going to move my upper body. Break. See, this sequence forces you to think outside the box. It blows away what you previously thought maybe about fitness. Thought I'd be cute. Ooh. Legs. 2 count. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Breathing out. I always see a lot of my clients do flute lips. Breathe. Rudely. Like you're blowing your breath in someone's face on purpose. That's where you start exhaling fat cells. And if you got flute lips, nothing's getting through. So, see, kind of sticks my belly a little bit. So if I wanted to be a badass, I'd hold these out. And I just force myself to just kind of sit with it for a second. Woo-wee. Time. Yes. Ooh, sweaty. A little bit going on. I show off my sweat stains. Yes. I get excited when I see people at the gym who have really big sweat stains too. I'm like, God dang, what'd you do? Oh, I did this. I'm like, oh, okay. Badass. I love it. I don't know. It doesn't show weight loss. It shows applied effort. That or the AC is not working right. But most of the time, it's definitely applied effort. So, yes, be proud of your sweat stains. Don't be grossed out by them. It's part of the process. It's like the breathing thing. Everybody's so polite in sessions. And I'm like, really? When we work on the exercise ball, they'll put their feet just so. I'm like, what are you doing? Take up space, Say like a man. Because you need to be able to balance your body. That has nothing to do with politeness. Do not let politeness override your security and your safety. Sorry, no. Politeness takes a back seat to safety and security. So, yeah. And if I have to yell to get a safety point across, I will. I've done it a couple of times. I try to do it with a smile. I swear it's a lot of fun. But so that's it. That's that. If we want, I could take that one song and do one move to it all the way through. Of course, I was trying to make my point in under 5 minutes. I didn't make it as 5 minutes, 38 second song. But I was trying to shove a whole bunch of information in a single sequence. So it's like, you could do it single, you could do this, you could do upper body, lower body, core, single movements, you don't see, it's not a whole bunch of moves, blah, 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 for a demonstration. And I was going to use that song. I always use that song as a demonstration. Love it. But most of my actual session sequences are singular. They single move, single song, single mission, which is complete the song and don't look like you're dying. So if somebody is doing this, I might need to up the ante on them. But if they're doing, oh my God, I can't believe this. I've never had anybody actually respond that way. But if they get something like that, then I know, okay, maybe this is a little too intense. Tone it down a little bit. Just depends on the feedback you can't lie about. Ha 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 ha. And then I make my sessions according to what goals are, what abilities are, what they want. Yes. Endless possibilities in Polykinetics. That's why I love it so much. And the only way to do this wrong is to do the same move to the same song over and over and over and over and over again. Especially if you're doing that move incorrectly. So, yeah, just be careful. If you feel anything weird, let me know. And I'll try to help you out the best that I can. Thank you guys so much for following and your gifts. I see them. I'm getting better at keeping up with this stuff, I swear. Thank you so much. And yeah, let me know your stories, because this is how I get better at what I do, is by listening to you guys. That feedback is absolutely phenomenal. So keep reaching out to me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter even. Yes, I have a Twitter account. And it all goes back many, many times. So go and read what I've written in the past and what you think. This is opposites of sets and reps, and this is what kind of threw me for a loop. Is it necessarily new? No, there's a type of tempo training that's been out there since the 40s. It was backed up by Charles Poliquin. Ironic, mine was called Polykinetics. That is a pure coincidence, because I didn't even know who Charles Poliquin was until last year. I was like, who the hell is Charles Poliquin? Oh, big strengthening guy. He's top guy in strengthening and bodybuilding and stuff like that. And I go, really? Okay. What happened? Because didn't hear anything from him after X amount. Oh, he died. Oh, natural causes. Oh, heart attack. Oh, okay. So I started really researching his work, and I found out his tempo training and my tempo training are not one and the same. Thank you, Jesus. Not to say he died from doing tempo training at all. The doctor and his family said it was of natural causes. He had an underlying condition he didn't know about. All the more reason to be safe. All the more reason to do simple tempo training. Don't do a whole bunch of weight. Like, this is a 10-pound dumbbell. This thing was 50 pounds. I wouldn't be going this fast with it. I'd be going 1, 2, making sure form is proper, making sure my heart is accepting of what I'm doing to it. Never let your ego overrun your ass, or you'll get injured. So, always use common sense when using any workout, including something that uses words like simple. And yeah, because if you don't do this properly, you could get injured. pull a muscle, just like any activity. You can pull a muscle getting out of bed. So be careful. All right. Killing it. 7 days, no candy. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Good job for you. 7 days, no candy. That's hard. Woo. I love sugar. My goodness gracious. Okay. I did have a mishap at a restaurant this past weekend. I said Diet Pepsi, but I guess the lady heard Dr. Pepper. And then I always credit Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew tasting the closest as their originals. So I thought she brought me a Diet Dr. Pepper. I'm like, well, that's no big deal. It's great. No problem. So I got the bill and it said regular Dr. Pepper. And I went, so 600 plus calories later and probably about 40, 50 grams of sugar, probably about 40 or so grams of carbs later that I was not anticipating eating. Like you said, things happen. Life happens. You cannot beat yourself up for things like that. You just gotta be like, okay, well, now I have a rule. Only water or unsweetened tea at a restaurant. I cannot drink soda anymore at a restaurant. Cannot have that happen again. I can't risk it. Luckily, I wasn't a diabetic or I'd be probably at the hospital. But yeah, so be careful with things like that could happen, you know. Right? Yes. Good common sense. So my common sense told me to stop drinking sodas at a restaurant. The poor lady was so overworked. I think they had one person doing like 10 tables. It seemed like the whole restaurant was being ran by one person. So it wasn't her fault. It was a simple mistake. But one that I had to make sure that didn't happen again. So we take things like that into our own accord. There we go. All right. Enough talk. Let's more walk. Now I have to burn off those sodas that I didn't mean to drink. But that's okay. We can do it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I like this one because it has a little bit of a stretch into it. Some people debate it's a little bit tougher than an 8 count. You tell me. 1, 2, 3. So if I'm cooking, if I'm cleaning, doing laundry, I was doing this in between those activities. I rarely sat down. Woo. I'm excited. I've learned to smile at my mishaps. All right, I am going to do my favorite stretch, which is the sumo squat. And then you turn your, oh, it feels so good. Turn your shoulder inward. And then straighten your legs, do the hammies. Now, instead of doing this little core intro part, if you want to continue stretching, you can. Whew. Grab your weights. Here we go. Away from your body, more intense. Leaning forward, more intense. This is physics, y'all. This is physics. So if I'm doing this, I risk injury to my spine. That fupa, that little fupa area. These are my favorite exercises in the world for that area. Now we're just gonna double it and be cute. Start with the core, end with the core. And of course, another little bout of stretch. So grab the wrist, pull it. Standard is anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. I say stretch as long as you effing need to. Don't hold it for an excessive amount of time. I call those good morning stretches because it's the ones that make me remind me of like when I tell somebody good morning, I'm like, good morning. Those good morning stretches. Woo! So, see, just perk you up a little bit. So, any questions, comments, concerns, criticism? I can take it. I've been taking criticism on this for 9 years. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I guarantee it. Whew. So, I'm going to keep that on pause and on standby. Woo! I swear, these girls have a mind of their own. They just... And I never thought I'd ever be able to wear a padded bra ever before in my life. Like, I never thought I'd need a padded bra. But funny enough, don't get upset. Everyone's like, I don't want to lose my boobs. Well, everything's going to tighten up. So when things tighten up, they get smaller. So you can't have them both. There you go. So thank you for doing this. Oh, and thank you for being here so much. Because that's what motivates me to do this, actually, is all of you guys. Absolutely. Feel that rush. Love it. Woo! Right? Like, I'm like, okay, I'm awake. A lot of people like to go out in cold weather. I don't like that kind of shock. To me, that is no different than someone taking a pan and going, bam! And I don't like that kind of shock effect. This is a very gradual shock. It's like, so like, okay, it all depends on how long you can hold on. That's kind of the fun part. So we're going to actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut this for now. I'm actually going to come right back. So just going to take literally like a 10-second break. I'm going to come back. We're going to do more songs because I don't have any sessions this morning necessarily. So I can actually hang out with you guys for a little bit. But I do want to get that YouTube portion on there. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to come right back and join me. Okay. All right.